Enlightenment is an automatic, natural event. Automatic means without doing and also without a doer. Nobody can get enlightened deliberately. It is not an activity or event that one can do intentionally. It has to happen automatically, but under certain conditions. Those conditions may vary from person to person. In some cases, there are records in the Buddhist canon, certain disciples at the time of the Buddha got enlightened at the last breath after they have committed suicide by cutting their neck. For example, Reverend Godika got enlightened at the last breath. Reverend Channa got enlightened at the last breath. Reverend Vakkali got enlightened at the last breath. Reverend Sapadasa, another disciple, got enlightened when he was trying to cut his neck to commit suicide. As soon as he put the blade onto his neck, it is reported that he got enlightened in his own statement in the Theragatha. The lady, Reverend Patachara, got enlightened when, after she washed her feet to go to sleep, she put some water onto the feet, and that water went a little distance and got soaked into the soil or the sand. When she put water for the second time, it went a little further and soaked into the ground. Third time, it went much further. These three events reminded her the death of her parents in the old age, the death of her husband and wife, husband, as well as brothers and sisters in the middle age, her own children in the young age. That was her great worry. And after washing her feet, she sat on the bed as recorded by herself in the Theragatha of the Buddhist canon, and she blew off the lamp to go to sleep. But at that moment, when she was blowing off the lamp, it is reported she got enlightened. There is another lady Arahant, Reverend Siha Theri. It is reported in her own statement in the Theragatha or the Buddhist canon. She wanted to commit suicide by hanging herself. She prepared a knot, and when she put that rope onto her neck, before she tightened it, she got enlightened. All these events show that enlightenment is a natural event that happens unexpectedly. If we have any expectation, we can never get enlightened. If you expect to get enlightened at a certain time or a certain moment, you cannot get enlightened because the idea of a self is there, the desire to get enlightened is there, the motivation to get enlightened is there. All those are defilements. The self is an illusion created by the mind. The desire is a defilement created by the mind. Enlightenment happens at the perfect purity of the mind. Sachitta pariyodapanam. The mind must be purified of its defilement. Defilements are thoughts and thinking. You can't think of getting enlightened and get enlightened. Enlightenment happens automatically. Even the Buddha, who tried to get enlightened for nearly 7 years, could not get enlightened by any effort she made. But the moment he got enlightened at the foot of a Bodhi tree, he sat there with the idea of never getting up because he had no idea of going back to his old life of self-mortification, starving the senses, or going back to the palace for sensual enjoyments. None of the two gave him any permanent bliss, sensual enjoyments or sensual starvation. By leading a life of austerity among ascetics. And at that moment, it shows when he sat down thinking, let my body get dissolved into this ground, he had given up the idea of getting enlightened. He was allowing himself to the nature. Let nature do anything the nature would like to do. The idea of self, the idea of a motivation, the idea of getting enlightened was no more there at that moment. And he got enlightened. He became a Buddha. There is an enlightened one, very powerful one among the enlightened mentally. He was called Chulapantaka. When he was rubbing a piece of cloth, looking at the sun, it got dirty. When it got dirty, he realized the nature of life, its impermanency. Even the cleanliness is not permanent, impermanent. And things get changed. The clean cloth got changed. And it could not retain its clean individuality. Those are called three aspects of the nature. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca means every item in this universe is dynamic, creative. And creative means changing. That is dukkha. Changing means no item can retain a permanent identity. That is called anatta. realizing the basic truth of this universe. Reverend Chulapatha got enlightened. There was another monk named Swarnakaraka. He was meditating on the impurities of the body, the physical body, under Reverend Sariputta for 4 months, but he couldn't even attain a certain trance. The very meditation he did was not successful. Then Reverend Sariputta took him to the Buddha, and Buddha, by miraculous power, manifested the lotus and asked him to look at the lotus and keep on looking. And after some time, Buddha, by miraculous power, made the lotus to wither down, die. Realizing the impermanence of everything in this life, Reverend Swarnakaraka got enlightened according to the records in the Buddhist canon. This shows enlightenment happened automatically, although the nirvana realized by enlightenment is unconditional. Enlightenment is conditional, under certain maturity, under certain condition. The main condition is purification of the mind. The mind is made impure by thoughts, both good and bad thoughts. Good thoughts have a motive. We like good thoughts, attachment to good thoughts. We dislike bad thoughts, that is resentment. And such a mind is impure. For the mind to be pure perfectly, it must be free of all thoughts and feelings. But there can be awareness. Sensation is there. Even after enlightenment, sensation is there. Sensation means the enlightened beings can recognize or become aware of the signals given by different sense organs, including the brain, including the mind itself. The memories can give a signal. That is how the Buddha could recognize Reverend Ananda or Reverend Sariputta or Reverend Moggallana. Sensation is there, but no more thinking. That is what Buddha said at his first paean of joy. Visankara gatan tittam. Thinking ceased at the moment of enlightenment. Thinking ceased because the mind is pure. Pure means it is devoid of likes, dislikes and illusions. We think of things that we like. We think of things that we dislike. And we think of things that we cannot understand through an illusion. When the mind is free from all those three elements called raga, dosa, moha, attachment, resentment and illusion, no more thinking. Non-thinking mind is the pure original mind. That original mind is not created. It is uncreated, unconditional. It is nothing but what we call nirvana. There is no creation in that. And that mind is called sunyata, emptiness, void. It has no limited individual. Every individuality is limited in time and space. Our mind consists of two aspects. The original mind is boundless. It is beyond space and time, not bounded by space, not bounded by time. It is that mind that we call nirvana. But it is empty, empty of the content of our normal mind. Normal mind means the mundane mind. The original mind is a supra-mundane mind, limitless. In Kevada Sutta it is called Anantam. And it is here and now. Here means Pasiko, you can see it here. Sandistiko, it means now. Akaliko, it is beyond time. Anantam means beyond space. Akaliko means beyond time. Those are the words used in the Buddhist canon by the Buddha to denote what type of nature the nirvana is. Although nirvana or the original mind is uncreated, the other aspect of the mind is created mind, created by our own thinking. All thinking is based on the memories which are illusions. Memories means what we know. We know things through our sense organs. Sense organs are limited in their capacity, and our sense organs can never know the real nature of anything. Therefore, we are delusion and illusion by our sense organs. After enlightenment, the enlightened one does not rely on these illusions called memories. It is the ignorance called memories, because when we know something, what we don't know is much more than what we know. Therefore, our knowledge is always illusory, deceiving us. At the enlightenment, one reaches that pure state of mind which is unconditional, which is uncreated, which is unlimited, that means boundless in space and time. And that is an automatic event, as I mentioned at the beginning. We cannot get enlightened deliberately. We cannot get enlightened with a motive to get enlightened. We cannot get enlightened by an effort to get enlightened. When you make an effort, the desire of a result is there. The desirer is there. One who desires, the self behind the motive. It is the extinction of all aspects of the self and all thought forms and feelings that opens up that original, unconditional, uncreated, boundless, spaceless, timeless mind called nirvana. And it has to happen automatically without a doer called self or soul, and without doing through any effort. It means enlightenment is automatic, and it happens to different individuals under different conditions, as I mentioned earlier. There is no particular permanent condition for enlightenment. I mentioned some got enlightened at the last breath after cutting their own neck to commit suicide. But everybody cannot get enlightened by cutting the neck and at the last moment. And one enlightened one was rubbing a piece of cloth, and when it got dirty, he got enlightened. Everybody cannot get enlightened like that. Siha Thera, I mentioned, got enlightened when she was trying to commit suicide by hanging, and as soon as she touched the noose to tighten it, she got enlightened. And different enlightened ones got enlightened under different conditions. But those conditions are not deliberately supplied by those who got enlightened. For example, just before the first council of the enlightened one's disciples after the Buddha's passing away, they invited Reverend Ananda, who knew by memory all the discourses of the Buddha, to participate in that council, but he has to get enlightened. On the night before the council, he was meditating, was trying to make a lot of effort to get enlightened, but he couldn't get enlightened. We were fully tired, both mentally and physically, early morning, and he sat down on his bed, according to the reports, and he was trying to lie down. He was not sitting, he was not lying down, he was not standing, he was not walking, not in any of the four major postures. Just when he was trying to lie down, he got enlightened, according to the reports. Therefore, enlightenment happens automatically, unexpectedly, when all expectations are no more there, when the mind is empty of thoughts and feelings and motivations, where one can realize the original, unconditional, uncreated, eternal mind which has no limit in time and space. It has to happen automatically. And it can happen to anybody, but we don't know when it is going to happen, but it has to happen to anybody. Everybody is enlightened within his mind, because one aspect of our mind is enlightened. That is our original aspect of the mind. Uncreated, unconditional, boundless mind. But that which we have covered with our conditional, created, thinking mind. When thinking and feeling stops under certain conditions, one can get enlightened automatically. It is wrong to say one can get enlightened. There is no more self there. It is a natural event. Enlightenment is a natural event, automatic event. All natural events are automatic. There is no creator of events in the universe. Although in theistic religions there is a belief the universe is created by an almighty God and is controlling every event, nobody has found such a God except a belief in such a God. There is no creator of the universe according to the Buddha. There is no self in the universe according to the Buddha. Not even in an individual, the idea of self is only an illusion. And it is the end of this illusion one realizes the eternal, boundless, timeless truth called nirvana automatically.